Hi, beautiful people. It's your realtor friend Camille and real estate broker here in North Carolina, back with another video. As you can see by today's title, we are going to be talking about all the different careers that you can have with a real estate license or without a real estate license in the field and world of real estate. So let's go ahead and get into today's video. The first career that I really want to talk about in terms of what you can do with real estate is property management. So property management is essentially managing properties that are owned by other people. They could be out of state, they can be in state, and just don't want the headache of dealing with tenants. So you are basically managing someone else's assets and keeping up with all of the tenants' bills for the month in terms of the income that is coming in, the cash flow, any maintenance items that may come your way, all of that jizzy jazz. So I actually dived into property management for like 1 week and I gave up. Property management is a totally different ball game from being a real estate agent. Kudos to all the property managers that are out there who are rocking and killing the game, because it is a lot, you guys. So if you guys are anything like myself, I'm included in the mix. Like when I have a problem, I am calling, trying to make sure that it gets settled. I'm calling you, I'm emailing you, if it gets down to it, I'm writing a review, you know what I mean? So you are handling tenant requests and those, dealing with the owners and then the tenant and then being the mediator. Hard job. Anyways, kudos to you if you are thinking about being a property management. I honestly don't have anything good to say about property management except for you guys rock, because I couldn't do it. The next career field, of course, is being a real estate agent, or in North Carolina, we are called real estate brokers. And so you can have a specialty as a real estate agent. A lot of people just say, oh, I want to be a real estate agent. But you can actually have a specialty as a real estate agent. So you can specialize with working with buyers. You can specialize in only sellers. You can do both. You can do commercial real estate. So if you are thinking about getting your real estate license and you're like, yeah, I really want my license, but don't think I really want to work with buyers, then maybe you just want to list properties for sale and that's your thing. So you can be a real estate agent and specialize in something. You can become a commercial real estate agent where you are helping people to get real estate that is not residential. So any type of like office space, industrial space, anything like that. So that is the next thing that you are able to do with having your real estate license. The next career that you can have is to become a broker in charge. This requires you to further your education past just getting your real estate license. You have to take a few more classes to become a broker in charge in the state of North Carolina. You also have to be a full-time licensed real estate agent for at least 2 years before you can become a broker in charge. But if this is the route that you want to take, basically what you're going to do is just supervise a bunch of real estate agents, and you will be the responsible party for anything that those real estate agents who are in your supervision do, whether that be any type of advertising, any type of things that they do on the contract. You're going to be the supervising party. A lot of broker in charge people, they get almost put in like mentorship roles or asked a lot of questions about like real estate law. So you definitely, if you're thinking about having a career as a broker in charge, you want to be, quick on your feet with the real estate law and just really know that in and out, because you're going to get a lot of questions and you want to make sure that all of the agents who are under you are doing the right thing. The next career that you can take on in the real estate world is becoming a team leader. So maybe you have a passion for like educating, mentoring, just being there for other real estate agents. You may consider the route of becoming a team leader. So instead of being out there in the field of buying, selling homes, helping others to buy and sell homes, you're mainly there to assist the agents who are underneath you. And there are some team leaders that actually, are still in the business where they are doing transactions of helping people to buy homes and sell homes, but a lot of your role is to be more of in a counsel position, more in a mentor position, to help coach up those real estate agents who are on your team. So you definitely, again, want to have knowledge of the real estate law and just like contracts and navigating deals and helping agents to get to the next level. So that is going to be most of your role as a team leader. Another role that you can have is to become a transaction coordinator. This is really a nice role to have when you are just joining the real estate game, because it can kind of give you that experience without having an actual physical client of your own. So a lot of the things that a transaction coordinator will do is help to schedule out appointments for any type of inspectors, any type of closings that may go on, any type of evaluations for getting quotes on home. You will also send out like home warranties. You'll send out calendar invites for any appointments that the buyer has coming up or the seller has coming up on both the real estate agent calendar and the client's calendar. So you're really kind of like in a administrative role and just helping to keep things organized, helping to keep things glued together throughout the transaction. And so transaction coordinators, they play a very, very, very important role. I know one of the transaction coordinators that I used to have on my team, she was responsible for also uploading all the documents into our firm's system, and then just being responsible for getting like additional signatures on certain documents. And they're very vital when it comes to saving time in the real estate role. So if you're new to real estate, then possibly consider being a transaction coordinator, because you'll be able to see firsthand kind of like what goes on. The next thing that you can do is to be a showing assistant. So showing assistants are so vital. A lot of times you have real estate agents who are either solo, or maybe they've just grown so big and they have an influx of clients, and all of their clients are looking to see the house on maybe the same Friday or the same Saturday, and it's only one person, so they need help. And so that's when the showing agent comes into play. It's real estate agents that, you know, have a large client base, or maybe they're out on vacation, or just have other obligations, or simply they cannot be two places at one time. They will hire a showing agent to assist with their clients to show houses to their clients when they don't have the time or the capacity. A lot of times with showing agents, you may get paid per showing. With a lot of the showing agents, there's also apps out here that you can be a part of. One of the main ones in my area is Show On Me and Key Please. Show On Me and Key Please, basically, if you are a part of that network, you get sent an alert if there is an agent that needs assistance with showing, sort of like a Uber or a DoorDash or a Lyft or something like that. And then if you are available to show that house on that particular day and time, all you would do is accept the job, and then you are expected to show up, show their client around, but you cannot give any type of professional advice to that person. You are simply there to open the door and let the client, you know, look around. I think you can answer like any basic questions, like, you know, the square footage, anything that would be on the MLS, but you're not able to give any sort of advice. This is also a really good segue into becoming a full-time real estate broker, is to just start off showing houses, get your feet wet, get familiar with the different type of lock boxes that are out there, just get comfortable with showing people houses. You may want to consider starting off as a showing agent. It's also really good part-time money. A lot of the showing agents in my area, they're charging between $30 and $40 per house. So just think, if you have, you know, 3 or 4 houses a day, you're easily making about $100 or something dollars. So that's a good way to get your feet wet in the real estate world. If you have a passion for photography and videography, of course, we all need that service as well. So you may specialize in real estate photography and videography. A lot of the photographers that I know, they will even provide an additional service of getting a map of square footage. If you decide to go into videography, you may provide an additional service of like a 3D walkthrough of the home, those different type of renderings so that the real estate agents can have that to present for their listings. So real estate photography and videography is definitely important, because a lot of times before people even step foot in the home, they've already seen it online. So if you have the skill set to be able to present a property in its best manner, and you can network with agents, and you kind of have like some tips and tricks to prepare sellers to get their home ready for the market, whether they are selling that home or leasing it out, you'll play a vital role, because those pictures, some of these real estate agents, they be taking pictures with their cell phone, which is not professional. So if you have a love for that type of thing and still want to be in the real estate world, then maybe consider a career as a real estate photographer or videographer. This brings me to my next point of being a real estate stager. So a real estate stager is someone who is going to come into the house to stage the house with a lot of different like decor items. They may bring in a huge furniture set, whereas bedrooms, bathrooms, living room, kitchen, or it may be very minimal with small decors like flower vases, a few rugs, maybe a few coffee tables and chairs. It all kind of depends on the budget that is at hand. So they're really there to just create the overall ambiance of the space. Stagers are super important when it comes to listing a home for sale, because a lot of the homes that have staging, it is a proven statistic that they sell for a lot higher than homes that are not staged and just simply empty. So having a home stage really creates like that homey vibe, that homey feel. So this may also be a career that you want to consider if you're into all things decor. The next thing that you may want to consider is having a career as an inspector. An inspector, their job is a lot more technical, a lot more like paperwork, very close attention to detail. You do have to be licensed to be an inspector. So essentially what oh my gosh, I cannot talk. Essentially what inspectors do is when you go under contract, or when a buyer goes under contract on a home, they will inspect the property. They will test things like the windows. They'll look at the roof. They'll look at the air conditioner system, water system. They'll look at the floorboards. They'll look at for any holes, cracks in the foundation, any holes, cracks in the cement. They'll look at the garage. Do the garage open and shut properly? Do all the light bulbs work in the house? Do all the outlets work in the house? Are the windows open and shutting properly? Do the doorways open and shut properly? Are there any water leaks? All the things that you can possibly inspect in a home is what a home inspector is going to look at. What they're not going to do is tear down the walls and look beyond the walls. But if you're into just making sure that these people who are buying a home really have a sound home to move into, and you're passionate about that thing, then maybe a home inspector is the career for you. The next career is very similar, which is a home appraiser. You also have to be licensed for this as well. So home appraiser is basically going to determine the value of the home, what the home is worth in comparison to the homes that are in the surrounding areas. They first look at the neighborhood, and then if they don't see any sort of comparable homes within that neighborhood, then they go outside of the neighborhood 0.1, 0.2 miles and sort of stretch beyond. So an appraiser is licensed to determine a home's overall value. So a lot of times, especially in communities that have minority populations or Black people, there has been several stories as to where these communities are not getting the fair market value for their home because of certain biases that are in place. So if you are about moving forward or just radical change, and you want to be a part of the change and just making sure that people are getting the fair market value from when their home is being sold, this may be a career that you will also want to consider. But let's go ahead and get into the next career. The next thing that you may be interested in is a real estate attorney. Woo! So a real estate attorney is looking at all of our real estate contracts that we put together. They're working with all parties that are involved, and just getting a clean title before it is transferred completely over to the buyer. So if you have considered maybe a career possibly in law or any type of legal work before, then maybe you may want to consider a career as a real estate attorney. The good thing about being a real estate attorney is most of their job or work hours is like that 8 to 5, but of course they probably go home, bring work home. But if you like law, then you may want to consider being a real estate attorney. Woo! I feel like this list is going on and on, so we're gonna hurry up. So the next thing that you can do is become an investor. An investor is essentially someone who invests their money in real estate. They see a good deal or possibly something that they can make money from, whether that be a buy and hold or a buy and flip. Real estate investors, they're all around us, major companies plus individuals. And so a lot of these real estate investors, they will buy property, maybe hold on to them, rent them, and then when the market is up, they'll sell it and get a really nice price for it. Other real estate investors will see a property that don't look so good and then go in with their contractors, renovate the property, and then upsell it for a higher price. This is what you see on a lot of these shows like HGTV. You want to have good relationships, though, if you're interested in that, because you are going to need some reliable contractors who can, do the flips very quickly, but also very quality work. All right, this next one I feel like has been trending in the last few years, but you can become a wholesaler. So what a wholesaler does is find off-market deals, off-market opportunities where there's an owner who owns that home, but they have not listed that home for sale. They aren't interested maybe in listing that home for sale. Maybe the house is just totally abandoned. So everyone always come across, those homes that are totally abandoned. Maybe it's like boarded up. The trees is just off the chain. The grass is growing high. So those homes, like a lot of wholesalers will go after. And so what they'll do is reach out to the owner, let that owner know that they can do purchase the property all cash with like $20,000. And then with that $20,000, they will go and sell it to an investor for an up price of say $40,000. And then their profit margins is $20,000. So you can become a wholesaler. You definitely need to be a person who can develop relationships, because a lot of the people that have these properties, it's like a lot of like family properties or properties that were just passed down, and then it's an heir property. So you need to have like a really good understanding of heir property, I would say, and just your way of like navigating those conversations with people so that they can trust you, because you don't have that real estate agent title, or maybe you do. Maybe you do. Wholesaling, that's a whole nother game. Okay, guys, I need a glass of water, but we are coming down to the nitty gritty. So the next thing that you can do is become an Airbnb host. This is something that I have aspirations of doing when I can get my coins together and get my down payment together for our next house. But you can become a Airbnb owner, which is essentially when you invest in a property. Airbnb, if you aren't familiar, which I feel like most people are, but if you aren't, Airbnb are shorter term rentals, usually a day, 2 days, a weekend, throughout the month, or maybe you may have it set up to be like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or what have you. So Airbnb is shorter term rentals that are not leases, and essentially those people are maybe coming into your town for a short duration of time, and you're able to capitalize on that revenue because they are only staying there for a short period. So especially if you stay in like here in North Carolina, we have like the Raleigh-Durham area, which is like College Central. So you may have like a lot of families who are coming in to see their college student, and they just may need like a bigger space other than a hotel. You may have a lot of events over holiday weekends who just want like a more close, intimate environment to where they can rent out a house with more flexibility versus going to in a hotel. Or maybe your Airbnb just got certain perks, like in Asheville, North Carolina, where you have hot tub, you're overlooking the mountains, and it's just like an overall different feel more close-knit than renting out a hotel. So you may want to become an Airbnb host. People make lots of money from having an Airbnb because essentially like you're charging hotel rates on a daily basis. So just think how quickly you'll be able to pay your mortgage for that month. I'm starting to think like, why did I even decide to make this video? But I hope you guys are finding it helpful because this is a lot. So the next thing that you can do is become a surveyor, and a surveyor is essentially someone who is surveying the land. And so it could be for just land only, it could be for residential, commercial, what have you. If your property boundaries are, if there's any like obstructions on your property that may interfere with like a clean title, all of those things, encroachments. I know you probably don't know what any of these terms means, like the easements, or looking at easements, but it is very technical job. But if you're maybe into like geography, landscaping, land, then maybe this may be the career for you. The next career is a new construction specialist. So this is the on-site representative who represents the builder for new homes that are in a designated like neighborhood. And so a lot of these positions are salary plus commission incentives. And so you may decide like, oh, like maybe a real estate agent isn't the job for me because I need that stable income. Well, maybe a new construction representative is the route that you want to go, because these new construction specialists are generally in the office like Monday through Sunday, like from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. And then with the, of course, like your 2 days off, alternating with another person in that office. And so with the new construction specialist, you are helping clients that come into the office to be familiar with the product that your company offers, with the building design, any type of items that is going in that home, like that land home packages, whatever that might be. Like you're there to represent the builder, to speak on the builder's behalf, and really get clients into purchasing those properties. So a lot of times, because it's brand spanking new, a lot of the homes sell itself. So a lot of times you don't have to do a lot of selling. Y'all, I am tired of talking, but we have about 3 or 4 more to go. So the next thing that you can become is an administrative assistant. A lot of times an administrative assistant works on behalf of the realtor, and they're really there to just basically do any of the office administrative tasks that a real estate agent may need. This may include sending out buyer consultation appointments, following up with buyer consultation appointments, going through email funnels, sending out email marketing, setting up any type of open house events, like doing all the events online, getting like coffee or donut for open house events, just anything that a real estate agent may need. You're like the right hand man to that real estate agent. If the real estate agent has a listing presentation, then maybe you are sending over the materials ahead of time to that potential seller lead. And so yeah, you're kind of like the backbone, keeping the office together, making sure everything runs very, very smoothly. So this may be another career that you'll want to consider in the real estate world. All right, so the next one is going to be a real estate trainer or educator. So this is someone that basically teaches the continuing education classes, any type of post-licensing. Maybe you just have a passion for teaching. So maybe you've thought about teaching in high schools, elementaries, colleges, what have you, but you really like real estate, so you'd rather teach a specialty. So you may want to become an educator and help agents out with just continuing their education and their knowledge. The schools may hire you, or you may decide to go independent, or you may just, there's some people who provide education on YouTube, and I don't know what their credentials are, to be honest. We have 2 more to go. 2 more to go. The next one, builder. You can build houses for a living, and this title is pretty self-explanatory. If you have a passion for architectural design, interior design, construction, and you just want to be good with your hands, then a lot of builders, they are going to manage project managers and managing contractors and all of that. And so maybe that's your flow. And so let's get into the next one. The very last one. Okay, I'm very excited because this video is a lot longer than what I imagined. And if you made it this far, thank you. Kudos to you. Give it a thumbs up, like it, subscribe, all of that, because your girl is tired of talking at this point. But the very last career that you can get into is becoming a lender or mortgage loan officer. And this is essentially when you help buyers to get a mortgage, to get pre-approved for a loan on their home. And so you'll look at all of the financials, examine credit scores, look at all of their important tax documents, W-2s, basically assemble everything together for the loan package to send over to, your underwriting team or whoever that may be that you work with in the mortgage arena. So you can work on the financing side and become a mortgage loan officer with a traditional bank or a mortgage broker or whatever that might be. And so, yeah, that is the last thing that I can think of that you can do in this wonderful world of real estate. Some of these items require real estate licenses, some of them require specialty licenses, and some of them require no license at all. So I really hope you found this video to be helpful today, because I am all talked out. So I hope that the information that I provided you was super valuable and super helpful for you if you are considering getting into real estate. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Your girl needs some water. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.